evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and I'm your host, Ellie. It is election day, finally. Now, didn't I tell you guys 2 years wasn't going to take long? Well, we're here. It went quick. It went quick. But we're looking at a country that has been destroyed. Uh, and they say a democracy. Well, their democracy is not my democracy. My democracy says that I have a right to vote, the freedom to choose, the freedom of basically liberty, the freedom to say what I want on YouTube. It's not their democracy. And it's very sad what they have done. Their democracy is adopting the tactics of authoritarian China. If one were to claim the U.S. is different from and better than communist China, how would we know? Let's compare the facts in taking down political opponents. Um, in the name of defending democracy, they say the Republicans are going to end democracy. Now, okay, American Democrats weaponized our government apparatus in an attempt to eliminate a former president. As it turns out, Democrats' despotic tactics to hold power are disturbingly remnant of those employed by authoritarian communism running like China. On Saturday, a Chinese leader, Jinping, appeared to make a similar move against his predecessor. And now a widely footage from the Communist Party Congress, who Jinato, the former Chinese president and symbol of ideology of opposition to Xi, was dragged out of Beijing's Great Hall of the People. Hu was sitting to the left of Xi on the last day of Congress until a man in a suit and surgical mask pulled him out of his seat of the Great Hall and apparently against his will. He wasn't allowed to talk. Was Hu Jinato removed a power play or was he really sick? They say that he was sick. And of course, our media is going to go right along with it. The problem was that he was suffering, they say, a kind of emergency, medical emergency. He resisted being pulled out of the Great Hall. Moreover, the Communist Party Congress is highly a rehearsed event, prompting many to suspect the incident was no accident. The Hu is the leader of the political faction within Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, supports a freer Chinese economy. Now that the poor has now even become the middle class, and they're seeing the freedoms and the spending and a lot of the freedoms that we see here. And the people in China love it. And Xi says, oh, no, 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 we got to have some laws here. And so now he's starting to crush the independence of the communism and bringing communism back up. Hey, Susan, there you are. You said you're going to call me. You know, I was thinking about having some of the viewers on the show, put them on like I do William. So it's going to be fun once I can get all my phones set up here. So Xi, over the years, is slowly purging anyone linked to whose administration or his vision of China basically are disappearing. They're removed from power if they have a label. The CCP in Congress this year has basically said that they're allowed to do this. So if they're anything, there's William. William, well, I was talking about you last show. So if any type of independence is heard, they're going to be removed and probably end up in the with the Uyghurs at the re-education camp. Because if you say too many things outside and you promote freedom, this is what happens in China. You get sent to the re-education camp. So, boy, we got lots. We're starting to get everybody in here. It's election day. Um, and so this is what's going on over in China. Now, what does it have to do with us? We're doing the same thing. The same thing American leftists adopt similar tactics. I'm sorry. If one were to claim the U.S. is different and any better than communist China, how would we know it? You know, during the 2016 election, Democrats and the deep state conspired to annihilate the campaign of then Donald Trump. And once Trump was duly elected by the American people, by the people for the people, which is a constitutional right, he put his hand on a Bible, not on the Koran, like has been done in the past. Democrats and feds, with the help of corporate media, uh, continuously, through lies, deceit, come up with ridiculous stories, falsified evidence, and illegal tactics against him, to where it was hard for him to perform everything he really wanted to do. And even after Trump lost in 2020, the Democrats have never quit continuing to attack the former president. Not only that, his supporters, people like me. I mean, YouTube. Why would YouTube attack me just for saying a certain word? That's part of what the Democrats have brought in. And not only that, but the destruction of our country in less than 2 years. It brought it down. It brought the country to its knees. They burn our flag. They hate us. When have you ever known a one political party to absolutely despise and spit hateful names at us on the media? And the media just loves it. And if you watch CNN or Rachel Madcow, the things that she says is just so hateful. And then now they're doing this January 6th thing and holding evidence that is pertinent to the trial. This is not a trial, because when you have a trial, both sides gets to present their evidence. This is not being done. They have thrown away jobs. They have made promises of, they're going to shut the pipeline down, but, we have millions of jobs coming. No jobs. Get this. I still do it on my personal social page of where's the jobs, and I get hate thrown at me for it. I've done it on my Twitter account and I've done it on Facebook. And where's the jobs? Where's all those jobs? Millions of jobs, they said. Well, that's not happening. No, we got January 6th. Not only that, they're pushing us to a one world order. They said this was a new socialist party that now have traits of fascism, Marxism, and communism. All of the subpoenas that they've done against just conservatives. They've lied in the subpoenas. They've had the FBI kick down doors. This has never been done in history. And, Nancy Pelosi delaying um, um, bills and not pushing them to the floor because she wants her agenda. And this has been allowed. Instead of the committee or Congress telling her this is wrong, they've abused its power to crucify all of us. This is their party, their way to destroy. The thing is if you're a Democrat, folks, they did it to you too. You're part of us. I mean, you're not living in the elite and you're not getting no special favors. You're paying the high gas prices. You're paying the high food cost. Your rent's going up. You're going to have to get rid of your car and buy one of their cars that's had nothing but issues. Blowing up seat belts, airbags, cars that take off and go off on their own, cars that make right-hand turns on their own, and batteries that blow up and fires that can't be extinguished. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm having fun. My cow doesn't move correctly. I want to ask her. My big question. I send this to her all the time, but I even go in her chat room and say it all the time. Tell me how a bull has a baby. And boy, the hate I get. Oh boy. She's not going to answer my email. She's not going to answer my messages, but it sure pisses off the people in her chat room. I mean, serious. I mean, they want to get rid of our cows, and then the transgender thing is one thing, but to try to tell us that men can have babies, that was the big joke in my vote line today. Now, all these men were around me, had these big old bellies, and I said, well, all you are going to get rich. You're all going to have babies. And they all started laughing. They said, oh, they were rolling, and then they took my business cards from me. They said they're going to come watch my show. They thought I was a riot. That's what they said. They said, for a serious news lady, you're a riot. I said, no, no, I'm just fun. So, all right, let's move on. What about these, now that we're talking a little bit about the election, what about these Dominion machines? Isn't you know who did those machines? Soros. He was the first owners of them. And then when he got caught having, he was in charge of these machines, then guess who it was? Uh, it was Romney's son and him that owned these machines. And then they had that election documentary come out where they found out. And I told people in this last show, I wish I would have said this yesterday. When you went to vote, you should have asked, are they hooked up to the internet? Because these machines aren't meant to be hooked to the internet. If they do, they screw up. Now, so what did they try to do? They've made it so these machines, they don't need to be hooked to the internet. All they're doing is taking, it's like a simple calculator. You put one in, you put two in, and you do that, and it decides, at the end. These don't need to be hooked to the internet. What goes, they gather up all of the info and then they send it to the main uh, voting office for your state or an election center. So if you've seen any of these things hooked up, see, that's the first thing I do. I start looking under tables and they know me. They know me there. Yeah. I see me coming and they're like, oh no, here she comes. Yeah. What's that song? Here she comes, just a walking down the street. Yeah, I bet they sing that. And then instead of ooh, wah diddy, they say, oh, good grief, she's gonna get us. Yeah. So anyway, uh, I'm having a good day because also with these Dominion machines, they're having issues with. Not only that, but they're finding out they cannot use absentee votes. They cannot use the ballots that do not have dates on them. So this is causing issues. New Jersey's one, California's another one. Folks, I'm going to be watching California tonight because California is red, and I know why this is because they called for the state to be split, and the basically from the very top of California almost down to Stockton, which is half the state, was willing to succeed from California and become the state of Jefferson. And I was all for this. So that's red. And get this. So how did Nancy Pelosi and Feinstein win in that when it was red? San Francisco's going to flip. They say Oregon could flip. They're looking at maybe, William, you're in here. Here in Washington will flip. Also Michigan, Wisconsin. They don't know about New Hampshire, and New Jersey is the one having problems with voting today. So as we go through the news, I'm going to pop it up on my tabs. But the Dominion machines have had nothing but issues. They were, if you, if I can find it, because they keep taking it away, I might have to go to Rumble and get this. And if so, I'll give you guys a good link to Rumble. And Rumble does not cost. It's not like Patreon, folks. I'm going to find this. And what it did is it showed how the Dominion of machines work and how easy it is to change the numbers. So, and then when you do change the numbers, the problem is it doesn't work after that. So who is in the back of these machines today? Think on that, folks, because the only way, now what I just told you, the only way for these machines to break down is if someone opened it up and tried to change the numbers. That will screw up that machine. Those machines, the way you're supposed to do these numbers to change them, you wait till all the votes in, then you push. There's a way, the way this lady said is you final it out, and then you can change the numbers from there with the machine and the calculations. Because what she went is dumpster diving to pull up all these tickets that show the real numbers. Because after they change it, they have one sheet, and then all those streams of tape get thrown away that comes out of the machine. So, thank you for bringing this up because we have many countries that are flipping. I mean, when you're looking at no gas, no heat, look at Africa. Africa and Madagascar is looking at us like we're lunatics. They're like, all we're doing is using a little bit of coal to help so we can cook because we can't afford all the wood because there's really not a whole bunch of wood in the areas of Africa. And this comes from my own sources and down there. And the surfer guy, he says, even on the beaches, it takes a while. He says it's easier just to go get your wood and bring it out to the beach. But he is one that is looking at what do we do for heat? There's no nuclear. There's really not much power. Most of the people like that have generators, except for the rich people, and no gas, no propane, no uh, uh, clean gas, and no gasoline, and definitely no diesel for that country. So how are they supposed to make it? And this is what's going on in Poland and the Netherlands. And not only that, but they have totally taken the farming away. So if you take your farming, your heat, your fuel, and everything away, what are you left with? And that's what their governments are even starting to change and say they just can't do this no more. So you're right, Susan, with Guam. They're electing these other candidates that are saying, you know what, we're going to come in and do something. And we heard Biden and Obama. Uh, you know what? I know abortion is the number one thing in everybody's mind, isn't it? Everybody, a 90-year-old woman is worried about abortion. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, and that's what that's what they're promoting with this last rally. Abortion, abortion, abortion. Well, no. What's wrong with these people? I called them idiots the other day. You got to go above idiots because this is out and out just mean. This is down dirty mean what they have done. And for them to get on a stage and look us in the face and say, oh, abortion is really important and climate change, and you don't need to have heating or cooling. But they are. They're doing it. And I thought it was just absolutely disgusting for them to get up on stage last night and promote this when I worry about the kids that don't eat, the homeless kids. Um, and it's sad when you go into a city and you see these kids that are on the street that are just hungry. And if you give them a sandwich, it looks like they're starving. They're just, and it's heartbreaking. And they don't care. They just don't care. I care about the kids. They're going to take their school lunches away. They're going to take their buses away. Tell me how we're supposed to get the kids to school on diesel buses in 10 days. You know what? I hope the American with Disabilities Act goes after their little butts. Because you know what? How are the handicapped kids going to get to school? Walk? Oh, they're going to use their little motorized wheelchair. And you know what? Carry Tommy on your shoulders. They can't walk either. How are the blind? How are these kids going to get to school? That's a discrimination against kids with disability and not allowing them the education that is a fundamental conservative constitutional right in the United States for every kid to be able to go to school. And they just went against it. This is, I was looking, we go through the school every day when we go over to the Wally World. I want to call it Piggly Wiggly. Can I change it? I don't like Walmart. Let's change it to the Piggly Wiggly. Since they're going to tear down my statues and rename schools, well, I'm going to tear down the Walmart sign and put Piggly Wiggly up there. Because Piggly Wiggly was the big store here in Arkansas. And then Walmart moved in with Sam Walton and drove them to the ground to where they had to close. Yeah, that was the start. That's when I knew. And then I went to work for them. I went to work for them. And how I know that Walmart's part of Target, because when I was in the back offices and I had to do the people's payroll, it asked, do you want Walmart payroll or Target payroll? And Target was to put Sears and Kmart out of business. Looks like they did it. So, oh boy, I got news. So I'm going to get on with the news. And because, I have 3 hours later coming up, I will be here for at 9 p.m. Eastern time until 11 my time, which is 12, with live election results. And we're going to have a party here. So the UK is going to fight energy crisis by buying gas from who? Guess what? Guess who they're going to buy the gas from? Who everybody thinks Russia, right? No, the United States. We're going to sell gas to the UK. Now, I, I, I can. Karen has just turned from a normal pale face that she has to flaming red and mad. Yes, after implementing a ban on fracking in the United Kingdom, a report has claimed that the British government is planning on alleviating its crippled energy crisis by buying a natural gas from the United States. But not only that, but they're going to release a little bit of their reserve to the UK so that it can be an energy security partnership, is what they call it. Agreement that would allow the United Kingdom to buy billions of cubic meters of gas. Much of it will be from, guess what? Fracking. And the United States reporting in their final stages to cut off their own people. They're going to be selling gas to the UK and possibly to the EU. Ooh, I went zero to pissed in like a second when I seen that report today. That was with Breitbart. If you guys go and check it out. Um, well, you know what, Linda, you're never alone when you got Ellie in your life. Ask Karen. I don't always answer my phone calls, and you can even hear it from Mary, but I do get back to people. And if someone really does need something, a friend or someone to talk to, I'm good for that. I'll make you laugh and I'll joke and yeah, what you see is what you get. Yeah, I don't change, do I, Karen or Mary? I'm the same on this show that I am in person. I'm not trying to hide nothing. Why? Why should I lie? Why should I act one way for the camera and be on national news and to not be the same in person? What's the purpose in that? That's a fake news. So anyway, Karen's going smiley to icky. Yeah, and then she's laughing. So I don't know. I don't even have it. I called a leaf a turkey in the last show, so I'm all messed up today. But I do wear glasses, folks, and so I have to make everything really big on my screen. So when you guys put those little itty bitty things, I'm like, okay, let's guess what they sent me today. Well, it was a fire hydrant, a turkey, and I can't remember what the other one was. But I was way off. I was way off on it. Okay. Yeah, I'm real. Yeah, I'm real. And I'm hoping to real soon that you guys, all of you, can call me. I don't care if I get 1,000 viewers and just one needs me, just to say, you know what, cheer me up for a second, Ellie. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. That's why I don't do super chat. I might miss your comment, and yes, some of you might get upset as we get more people watching the show and more into the chat room. But I'll give the ability for you to either email me, message me, call me, or just bug me, poke me with a stick if you got to. All right, so I'm different. This is a different type of news show, folks. Um, I never wanted to be straight laced. I'm not that kind of person, and I've told my viewers I really didn't plan on doing this. I got too big of a personality, and I don't. I'm not straight laced, and I read my scripts, but I write my own notes. So what you hear is what I write out, and sometimes I sound real serious, and other times I just give it to you lightheartedly. You're going to get down home news here. This is the true down home um, Southern news. Now, I don't want to be mistaken as Flo. No, I'm not a Flo. If you ever seen the Southern women, they do jokes on YouTube. That's what I say I am. All right, onward. Then we had boy, Biden wanting to get rid of coal. And then the way he said it, and then his press secretary, whoever she is, I never remember her name. Everybody uses her initials, but I never remember 'em. Uh, she was saying, "Oh, the media twisted that. That's not what he said." So, oh boy, last night Fox News, all of them, listen to what it says. Listen to everybody wanted everybody to listen to what it said. We heard it, didn't you? Didn't you guys hear it? Didn't you guys see it, hear it? You guys know what he said. We're not stupid. They're idiotic, but we're not stupid. We heard what he had to say. And, so they're trying to cover it up. They say his cold comments were twisted. So let's get it straight. They said, eventually. Well, yeah, they said eventually they would cut us off like in 2030 or 2050 and not in 2 years. So, no wonder he's being mocked. And then the whole thing about the MAGA um, is a threat to democracy. Um, so mega, who cares? I mean, I'm not into the whole MAGA. I mean, I like Trump, folks. Don't get me wrong, but in the MAGA hat, I would have wore one if I got one. Well, I got hair, so me and my hats don't work unless it's one of them little Easter bonnet things. It's the big floppy ones. But I don't usually wear hats. I'll wear a shirt. But what's wrong with MAGA? Make America great again. Well, oh, you know what? It's like, let's burn the American flag and burn up every city across the United States. That's their democracy. I mean, and they're not even looking at it. They're like, no, we don't see that happening. No, we're not a part of that. But you ask the anarchists, you ask the college students, like I did, they're like, oh, yeah, we're all Democrat liberals. And they pay us to do this. So yeah, well, boy, I'm having fun today. I'm gonna really rake them over the coals. So yeah, I'm gonna rake them over the coal. And coal is not very clean, folks. I have to agree with a lot of it, and not only that, but if you didn't know it, a lot of these coal plants were pouring their tailings into rivers, and it was polluting up some of the rivers and streams. And we're like, no, you can't do that. Well, they quit. Some of them didn't. Coal is very dirty, even though we have clean coal. But we were slowly bringing in different ways for those that worked in the coal plants. And think of all of that coal and the dust that then people were breathing, causing medical issues. But we were bringing in a cleaner way, which would have been gas. And now they're taking that away. And then they want to bring back nuclear? Really? Doesn't uh, Fukushima and Chernobyl scream at you? How about 3 Mile Island? Yeah, that's what gets me. And I've got one up here in Russellville, not very far, and it scares the piss out of me. Pardon my French, but it does. Um, so well, I don't think nuclear is the way to go. I think if we got a frack now, what is the problem with fracking? Fracking causes earthquakes. That's the problem. Fracking causes earthquakes. Do we want more earthquakes? What kind of damage has earthquakes done? Well, it doesn't do much until you get up into the sixes and sevens. But even Japan and some of these countries that do have earthquakes a lot are making their buildings lower. You don't build a 50-story high rise and expect an earthquake to dance with it and have it not crumble. I mean, it's definitely going to crumble. So that's what's going on. That's the choice. Do we frack or slowly let's go into solar, but let's get it right the first time. I thought we were going to wait and do it in 2050 and we're going to take our time and do this right and get the cars. No other car can go on the market instantly after being manufactured without testing and being approved. The EV cars can just be put on the market. So that's what I don't like. So boy, I've been looking into this. I'm big on ecology. Uh, Thank you, Vince. Vince is the one that got me into the ecology club, and Becky. But um, when you start looking at, because you used to bug me when people would throw garbage into the water. I don't care if it's just a measly straw or cigarette butt or a cap. You may not think it's much, but when a whole bunch of people do it, it just pollutes our oceans. And the military shooting weapons in our ocean isn't helping. They're probably polluting it a lot quicker than we are with a straw. And you know what gets stuck to turtles more than straws is barnacles. Y'all seen them? I watch the craziest stuff and look at stuff for wildlife for you guys. And barnacles on turtles is worse than the straws on the turtles, according to the scientific research on the sea life and sea life on the effects of turtles. So it's barnacles that kill them, not the straws. Time to ban the barnacles. Yeah, if you guys see them, take them off. I mean, it's a little bit to get them off. I've done it out in California because it hurts them. It smothers them, and they can't swim. They just end up drowning, and they're from barnacles. You guys know them? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Karen, was that? He said the big announcement will be November 15th. I was hoping it would be on my birthday, but nothing good. I was going to sign my property on my birthday, and they moved it. Moved it to the day after. Yeah. I'm trying to get something exciting to happen on my birthday, so I'm going to just come in here and celebrate with y'all. Huh, Karen? I celebrate my birthday with everybody. Um, um, you were on the other channel. What, Mary? What are you doing over there? Was there anybody else over there? I only did it because we have like 8 people. I mean, it's not very many, but there's 8 people that like to watch me over there. And they said if I was going to do election night to please use that one so they wouldn't have to come hunt for us. So that's why. So, but no, the turtles. They made a big fuss about the turtles and the straws and the plastic stuff. The barnacles kill them faster than the straws do. I don't know about the other garbage that's in the ocean, but if you see it, they can be removed, folks. Just get a little like almost like a butter knife. Don't get nothing real sharp. Just something to pry it off with. And you would be helping these little fellas because what it is, they attack the little guys, and then when they get bigger, there's just more weight on it, and it suffocates them. All right, onward. I'm gonna lose everybody today. Um, uh, there has been $1 billion that was been paid to the Taliban through Afghanistan. Um, by the Bidens basically retreat. Remember we were going to give them some money. Well, paid them close to $1 billion now that the taxpayers unknowingly have paid out. And it's given to Taliban controlled Afghanistan, and it's being spent according to a new report. And this comes from the Inspector General for Afghan Reconstruction. He said the Treasury Department and the United States Agency for International Development stonewalled any investigation to where this money had gone. They're good at that. While the State Department gave nominal assistance. The U.S. continues to pour money into Afghanistan. If Cigar is right, the American public will have no idea how much of their tax dollars are being spent on the aftermath. And we don't know why or the purpose of why we're still giving them any money because it's all going to Taliban. So we are funding the terrorists. And get this, the ones that are the ISIS and Taliban that are being trained there, not only in Afghanistan, but Pakistan, and being paid for this. They are now going to be with an army with Ukraine to take out Russia. So, and they got mad when Russia went and got the Chechens, which is a terrorist group. And they were like, oh, how dare him use terrorist? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So, according to Matt Getz of Florida, The letters to the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, Janet Yellen, and U.S. aide, Samantha Power, called it shocking, and they didn't know this was going on. They didn't have no clue. Um, and then when it was brought up that they withheld information and it was a violation of the law, they said they really didn't know about it. And 57 times when Cigar had issued a quarterly report, they have declined to even read it. They won't even read it. And this is the type of indictment against the Trump administration. And they've even went after the Bush administration under when Obama was in office, and so was the Clintons. They both went after Bush the same way for giving money to countries that let the terrorists have it. So this is going to be near the top of the list, they say, for one of the things that Congress looks into. And now they won't have Nancy Pelosi to block it. Um, yeah, I think she was on Investigator News Network, Karen. Now she's on Investigator News 2. So if you're on the network, you can come over to 2 and you'll see everybody. But over there, it's kind of lonely because we haven't built it up. And that, for those that's on 2, like Nick and Sherry, if we are not here every day, then go to Investigator News Network, and that's where we'll be. It's just a backup in case we lose this channel. All right, Louisiana moves polling site after a school receives multiple bomb threats. This is the second time this week. The first time they started setting up for it to be an election station, there was a bomb threat that was called in. And then, of course, yesterday it happened once again. So now they are going to move it due to the second bomb threat. This has been twice this week, they said. So now they're getting bomb threats at these election precincts. Well, I'm glad I'm in a state that's red. We got to thinking about it. And, I think Saline County and there's a few others. It's just useless. They might as well just vote with us because there's so many in Arkansas that's they have to contend with to get where they want here in Arkansas, and it's because of what the Clintons did here. So the other thing, boy, this is gun owners are really going to like this. The federal judge suspends restrictive gun laws over unprecedented constitutional violations. So they're calling it basically unconstitutional. And this happened on Monday in New York. The state's anti-gun legislation and issuing a preliminary injunction against the core elements of the law, which was passed this summer. But as a previous law was thrown out by the Supreme Court, now the U.S. District Court, Glenn Suddaby of New York, Northern District, issued a preliminary injunction on Monday. Now, according to Reuters, as of Tuesday, when the Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul, an architect of the law, she claims, fighting for re-election against Zeldin, it was uncertain whether the state would appeal it. But they are now saying that the Supreme Court judge might not even allow the case to come before him again. So they're changing the gun laws. You have a right to own and bear arms. You really do, not only for protection, but you might need it as a way of getting food. So William is on network. Well, he's watching. I wonder if he went over there to look for that girl. Was her name Heather? Is that what her name was? That we couldn't figure out who she was. And it was in one of the jokes. Don't worry about it. Okay. Guess what is going to happen in the wee hours of Election Day? Is anybody getting a creepy feeling from this? How about the moon going red and then an eclipse? Now, is that a sign? Turning red to me means, oh boy. And, but realize that the witches, they don't do their rituals. They don't do it they do it on a red moon maybe, but for a full moon, they don't. It's black moon. It's the black moon that they do their stuff on. So yes, tonight, you get your binoculars, look at the moon, and I think you're able to see Uranus and quite a few, I think 5 other planets. So get the telescopes, get the binoculars, and then watch the eclipse. I'm not sure where the eclipse is going to be seen, but I'm pretty sure. I think Fox News has something on it. Where I got it was through Red State. So now Maricopa County in Arizona, um, they um, they say that they're having issues with just about every one of their precincts to be able to vote, but they are slowly fixing them. Um, um, I like this next one because you can't really say they cheat. Okay, they just I don't know. I'm not sure how to say what they do when one person has 10 votes, or my dad's son votes in California, and he was voting in California um, as soon as I think this the same year he passed away, and we don't even live there. He's never lived there. So he's one of those dead voters that I have to keep up on, and it's hard because you got to have all of it. I'd have to have all of his information, his social security number, uh, his last place that he lived, if he'd voted before. There's a lot to it, but no, it's not right when you're even counting dead votes. Um, so yeah, so they are. Uh, I don't want to say they cheat. They are just they just can't lose. Because the thing cheat will get me taken out of Facebook and YouTube. Now they just can't they cannot accept that they didn't win. And how does Nancy Pelosi and Feinstein win with 110% of a vote in a uh, area that hates them and was willing to go succeed from California and become their own state? So how does that happen? That's the one I hit them up with all the time when I call them. Folks, start calling these guys, and even the Republicans, call them and find out what they're going to do. We got to keep up on this. We can't let it slip back to what it was. And we're still not sure. Is everybody still on pins and needles thinking maybe we might lose? We don't know. We don't know. They're trying like crazy to, I guess, change the machines because they're having issues. They're finding uh, people registered without a date of birth, or even having shown an ID in a city that requires an ID to be photocopied and sent. So there's a lot going on tonight. And why does it take 8 days? California can have get this. Um, when I was out there, the polls closed at 7. At 7:30, they had results for us. So tell me how that state that big, that a state like New Jersey or one of these really small ones can't have a vote within 8 days. I don't care how many mail-ins there are. They're mail-ins, and you get this one judge, he said he wants the mail-ins within a week. That was one of the other things that came out for one of these. I think it was Georgia that, and don't hold me on it because I might be wrong. Um, that if they don't get it in within a certain amount of time, they get pitched. Let's see, on the last election, they just kept all of it, and they went, I think, 15 days or even longer for quite a few cities in Democrat states. So, and we are cheering on Sarah Huckabee today. It looks like she's got a clear win. The guy that's going against her doesn't have very much following. So we will be looking at, as of tonight, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is our governor. Yay, yay. Her dad, I hope, is going to be right by her side. All right, onward. Let's see. Um, uh, New Jersey County is experiencing issues with the Dominion voting machines. Yeah, that's the one that I was telling you about. And But they're having a lot of issues today. Voting machines, with the signatures, with the dates, with the addresses not matching IDs. Um, so as people are waiting to cast their vote today, it's good. It may take longer than expected, with the voting machines causing countrywide system outage that a local government official says has resulted in all voting machines going down. Why? They shouldn't be hooked together. Did you hear that? I mean, who is hooking all of these machines up? I think that's why it went down. So, um, my brother, Linda says he votes um, paper ballot on election day, and it's only because they can't come up with the numbers that quick. So, West Windsor residents, due to a Mercer County-wide system outage, all voting machines are currently down in each district across the country. Voters can still report into their respective polling locations and vote on standard ballot and insert the ballot into the slot. So you could still able to vote in some of these areas, but they did explain that the machines are going down. Well, they shouldn't mess with them. Just leave the machines alone. They'll add it right. Um, uh, Oh, Florida is having the same problem. Election monitors in polling places are having issues, and as well as the machines themselves. So now we have in Florida. Um, um, so we have now heard we're cockroaches. Why did they name call us? I'm not sure about that. We're deplorables. We're Walmart people. Now they called us cockroaches. So why vote for Democrats who think you're a cockroach? And it's why. And they looked at it and they're almost calling their own Democrat voters cockroaches, the way they talk about it. Because if you don't follow their beliefs and what they want, and or you think they're wrong, then it makes you a cockroach now. Oh boy. Last minute change is delaying voting in Philadelphia. So Philadelphia is the next one. We're seeing them slowly. The last minute change to voting laws that the Democrats wanted to throw in has now thrown a wrench into the whole system. So now they're having delayed votes in Philadelphia. So we are on the highway to climate hell. Um, but basically, Europe really is starting to change their mind on this due to it's not ready. When you plan a party, and it's a good size when you have a bunch of people coming, you do want to plan it right. Like, how many people do we got to feed? Um, they haven't learned this. They just implemented it and then say, okay, well, now we'll do the where you charge it up and the charging stations, and oh, and sorry, the cars don't work. So that's what they're looking, and a lot of it, this um, the changes is because they're trying to step in under the guise of looking at election laws and coming up with their own laws, and then going behind closed doors and getting them passed. So let's see. Violent crimes, they're not even looking at that. Abortion's more important than a violent crime. Well, just in the last 30 days, it's went up 37%. So what was it? Hochul? And she says, oh, no, it's down in New York. No, it's all up across the country, 37%. And it's getting worse as we go to closer to the election today. Um, Seattle police is responding to a school shooting as of 3 o'clock today. They said one was already injured, a cop was injured, and they are still looking for the subject. Do you guys remember Harry Potter? Um, let's see if I can get this guy's name up. Leslie Phillips. I'm not big on Harry Potter, But his picture does look a little bit familiar. They say he was Dark Heart. He also completed Dark Heart Manor. Oh, I got noise. Um, he was Ding Dong, well, hello, he said all the time, they said. Um, let's see, he was born 1924, so he was an older gentleman, but he was part of the Harry Potter. So if you remember him, he passed away. Um, and let's see. The Vatican is now saying that severe humanitarian impacts is happening from this climate energy. And maybe it has gone a little bit too far. That's the Pope. Now, the Pope has said they're going too far. And that's what everybody has said. How many of you guys, if they just took their time, um, and they did it in 2050, like they said, and maybe you even got a flying car out of it, wouldn't you have wouldn't you have changed over and worked with all of this? Not just throw it down our throats without the cars even being made to be able to use the cars. Um, the other thing that's happening that really got me was um, um, Antifa. Antifa is very ramped up. And then I heard not only Obama, but Biden last night say that that if they're voters, they shouldn't put up with um, what is going to happen tomorrow. They didn't really mention like voting or any. They try. You could tell they were trying to cover it up. And they said, no matter what happens tomorrow, that we know that we should rise up and do something about it. And then I can't remember the saying that Trump used, let's go on down there peacefully protesting. Well, he said that they should peacefully protest on the day after the election. So I was right. I was spot on, Mary. I should have went on the Hodges show because I do have a lot of info about Antifa and how they were planning to do this. They're going to try to do a coup. They're going to try to overthrow the country, is what their mindset was about 6 months ago. Or in June when everybody was saying no, it would happen 4th of July, and I said no, it's going to be the election. They're going to rise up and they're going to get angry. Um, so be careful. Be very, very careful. And now today's over, and we didn't see no. They're not uprising, they're not rioting so far, but it's going to be once they hear the results. And it's not only them, it's BLM. Now get this, there are a lot of them that just say, hey, we're in a gang and we got guns and we'll go march with you. But you know what? As soon as you guys break windows, let us know because we're going to loot them. So the gangs are looting the stores after they break and burn the buildings. So that's what the gangs do. Uh, and it's all set up, and then they don't really get in trouble because they don't steal enough that they can be charged for. They steal little bits at a time, or the whole gang goes in. Let's say they're going to target shoes. They can clear out the whole shelf with about 10 of them. But if they split it up amongst 10 of them, then there's only a couple $100 per person until they get what they want. They all get a set of shoes, and then they buy a bunch or get a bunch to be able to sell it. So, yeah, so Antifa is ready to cause trouble over the next few days, and if not, this weekend. And a lot of these are college professors. So, we need to start looking at the schools. We need to look at the teachers, and we need to look at college professors once this country goes red. So I know it's early, but I do have 3 to 4 hours that I'll be doing later on. But please subscribe to the show and hit the like button, share it with family. And if someone's looking for a place I hope it works out, um, that wants to see what the live results are, come on back in a couple hours. I'm going to go get some dinner and kind of wait around and see what's going on. Right now, it's dark. We're still waiting for the numbers to start trickling through. And they usually do just after 7 o'clock Eastern time. And so that is right about an hour. So, but I wanted to get off a little early And I will be back, of course, tomorrow with full news and maybe all kinds of really neat news. Not only that, but, I'll have my lifestyle news show that's on an hour before. So like and hit the follow, hit the bell, and definitely subscribe to our channel. And if you like us, keep coming back. All right, so folks, that is it. Live results, more. Yeah, I hope not. Well, we're going to have to see. Once those numbers start going up and up and up on that blue side, we're going to wonder. We're going to wonder what's going on. It's like kind of, well, let's have everybody go home, but we're just going to have a few stay and count a little bit, like they did on the last one. I hope this show might have me taken. I'm on strike 2 because of a show I did with William. So, all right, folks, we will see you in a couple hours. I'm going to go get some dinner, and you guys share the show. It's really good info today. And come on back tomorrow. Tomorrow, if you don't go for the elections tonight, come on back tomorrow and watch our lifestyle news or our new show. And if so, come on over to the live uh, election results, and I'm hoping to have them on the board to be able to show you what's going on, and we'll talk about it. And if you guys want me to look at your state, I'll try. I'm going to try hard. I was able to do it last time. Is pull up your the candidates for your state. So say a prayer that tomorrow we wake up with everything different, and for a lot of people to be put in that we need put in to be able to make this country rise and make it great again. All right, folks. See you in a few minutes, or in a couple hours, or we'll see you tomorrow. Get out there, and if you have not voted, get out there and vote. Uh, and we're going to have fun here tonight, so come on back. Bye bye, and God bless.